Friday, everyone. The weekend is here. Well, pretty much anyway. I have a few more things to do before I will have my weekend start off. I have a couple of things to tell you guys today. First, I told you I've been so tired this week, and I was thinking that it was because I had the insomnia thing like last week. It was not. It was this guy. This is the nasal spray that I got for my run night, and yesterday I realized that, oh, that's why I've been so incredibly tired, and I've been sleeping like 10-11 hours every night, and then still had to take a nap, which is just not like me at all. I sleep 8 hours, period. That's it. I never sleep more than that unless I'm sick, and usually I will sleep a bit less as well, but perfect for me is 8 hours a night. So there you go. It was that guy. So I'm taking a break from it today because I would like to feel somewhat awake today. I do have some stuff to do, and I do need to get in my car and go to Uppsala, which is my nearest large city. And I really want to I don't want to be tired when I'm in my car. So yeah, that brings me to my second point of, I almost said discussion, but the second thing I wanted to tell you today. I've been queuing for a book at the library about fairy tales and telling fairy tales and so on. And the reason for this is that this fairy tales and that type of stories is something that is very near and dear to me. I have loved them all my life, and it was fairy tales that got me started writing to begin with. And I've always wanted to continue. I kind of lost that when I grew up and became an adult. And I really been wanting to get back to that. So then I discovered this book, and I thought, oh, this might be the perfect thing to kind of boost my inspiration and get me going on that project again. And also, when I was younger, I would write these kind of Astrid Lindgren-ish type of stories. So that was kind of the direction I was going. But again, I sort of lost it when I grew older. I've been working a lot, always. So I kind of lost that writing, and I've been wanting to get back to that again. And this has kind of come back more and more over the past few months and weeks, and especially the past couple of weeks. That thought has kind of been growing more and more and more in my mind. And I've been thinking that, I really should get going on that now. And yesterday I even went so far as to watch the movie about Astrid Lindgren, about how she became Astrid Lindgren. In the first place, what her life was like the first years, just before she actually started writing. And I was truly inspired, and I felt that, I'm really gonna get going on this. I knew this, and I actually had like a summer house. I used to have a summer house that was it was less than a kilometer from her summer house. So I didn't really meet her, but I saw her there several times. I didn't get the opportunity to talk to her, unfortunately, but we had summer houses close by each other. And anyway, so I was planning on going to the library today to pick up the book that I had, that I was queuing for, because it has arrived now and I can go pick it up. And I was thinking maybe I should get some other books for I have some of Astrid Lindgren's books, but I wanted to get a couple of more of her books, and I wanted to get a couple of books from a couple of other writers, Swedish writers, that is sort of in the same genre. They are writing like chapter books for 7 to 12-year-olds, to just, boost my inspiration and get going on that. So fast forward till today, I got up, checked my email, and I had an email from this book editor who puts out like a newsletter every now and then. He's really good, and he's a published author and so on as well. And no, wait, that's not him. This was a magazine. It's a magazine about writing that I'm subscribing to. I'm sorry. They sent a newsletter. And in this newsletter, they had a link to an interview with one of my favorite authors today, which is in a different genre. He writes more for adults, but it's a lot of humor, and he's really good. And he had a huge crash a couple of years ago, you know, and suffered from, well, he still does, suffers from anxiety and all of that. And it's been a really tough time for him because his first book became a international bestseller. So it was, you know, what everybody dreams about, he actually got, and it broke him. And then I read the interview about him and realized that all the things that he was talking about, because he was saying that, you know, he couldn't handle it, it was too much, he wasn't the kind of person who wanted to be famous and be out there and have all these people, you know, coming up to you and talk to you and want your attention. He just wanted to write. And that's so much hit home for me, because my biggest fear has always been that I would be famous for something, because I can't imagine living like that. It freaks me out. And I don't know, this is going to sound so weird, but one of the reasons that I haven't really taken the plunge and really tried to make something of my writing is because I was scared that I would make it. I've never been scared that I wouldn't make it. I've been kind of ready for that, but I was scared that I would make it, and I would make it big, and that it would be hard like that. I still am. But it was comforting to read that interview that, you know, I'm not the only one who feels like that. And also in the same newsletter there was an ad. And it turns out that one of the major publishing houses in Sweden are hosting a competition to find basically the next Astrid Lindgren. And you can win like 10,000 euro-ish, 100,000 Swedish crowns. So it's about 10,000 euros or 10,000 plus dollars. And you would also be have your book published. And I was like, this is like the stars are aligning. First I read that interview, or first I you know, starting to come to the conclusion that I need to do this, I need to get going on this and start writing like that again, because I really love it, it's what I want to do. And I get this book and I decide I'm going to borrow that from the library. I get in queue, it has arrived, I'm going to get it, I'm inspired, I'm going to borrow a couple of other books to really get going on this. And the very next day, the same day I'm going to pick up these books, I first read that interview with this author that feels so comforting to me, that I'm not the only one who's actually scared of kind of becoming famous or known. And there's an ad for where they're actually looking for a writer to be the next Astrid Lindgren, which I'm not going to say I'm going to be that, but it feels like an added, it's like a carrot at the end of the stick, you know. This is it, I have to get going on this. So that is my plan now. It is late afternoon. I'm going to hop in my car and go to the library and pick up the books that I want. And I'm going to get home, and all the kids will be home this week and all of next week because they have the week off from school. And I think there's going to be a lot of writing the next week. I hope it will be. Anyway, I feel very, very inspired. It truly feels like the stars aligned and that now's the time. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that's it for me today. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.